All right, in today's lesson, we're going to talk about the overhead, and we got Neal Stewart here, 4.0 on the way to 4.5, and you wanted to do an overhead lesson. Talk about that. What do you think about when the ball goes up in the air and you see that ball coming at you?
Well, I typically panic because it's usually set up with a great shot that, okay, now I've finally arrived at the point where I can put this thing away. But then I think, all right, do I want to hammer this thing, or do I just want to get it back to see if he can get back that next shot?
Right, and I'm going to encourage Neal and others out there to get rid of the patty cake. We want to hit that overhead and go for it. And so that to eliminate the panic, the first thing that you want to do is focus on going for your overhead. Now the second thing is, where are you aiming on the overhead? Let's assume it's a medium level overhead. You're able to get balance. When you see that ball come up and you're processing all this information, where do you want to be hitting the overhead? Where do you think about?
I mean, it sounds stupid, but I don't think I aim. I think if I make that commitment to really go for it, then I kind of use a serve motion, which mine has a little bit of a natural slice. So if I go for it, I'm just hitting out and I'm saying, all right, if I get this in, then I'm going to win the point. And I'm just kind of generally going to, the deuce court.
So Neal hits most of his overheads to the forehand corner with slice. And I'm going to tell a story a little bit later in this video, but we want to do something different than that. So I'm going to go over and feed some overheads, some lobs to Neal, and he's going to hit overheads to the forehand corner. And then we're going to make a slight adjustment. And from this day going forward, Neal is going to start aiming on his overhead, because all of the pros aim, and he's going to start hitting his overhead to a different spot, and we're going to see your overhead improve dramatically.
Sounds good.
All right, now I'm in position to lob Neal, and Neal is over there ready to hit the overhead, and he's going to go ahead and hit his overheads to the forehand corner where he told me that he normally goes. So I'm going to hit him some lobs here. So he's doing a great job for the camera by shanking and missing. He might even miss one wide here if so there we go. So that's pretty much, I know we exaggerated a bit, but that's pretty much what's happening. He's missing his overheads over to that to the forehand corner with slice. And so the first thing that he needs to do is start aiming to a different spot. So if he's still going to stay in the forehand corner, I want him to aim at the service line in the middle of the box. This gives him the most margin for error. But what I learned from a great coach in Atlanta, I'm going to tell a little bit more about the story later in this video, just so you get a reference point on things that I learned even at 28 years old, is I want Neal to go inside out, and I want him to go to the service line, just past the service line. So the hopper is his target. And you're going to find that you're going to learn how to pronate better. You're going to have more control. It's going to the backhand corner. And that way, as soon as the ball comes up, you've trained yourself to go to the backhand corner. That's really what we're after.